Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyle, community and neighborhoods. And now, from 4 Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Good morning and welcome to the talk show, All Things Moore County. And Dorothy, good morning and Happy New Year.
Good morning, Bill. Happy New Year to you.
It's good to be back.
Yes.
It's been a...
and you brought a full house.
I did bring a full house. As a matter of fact, I look back on our... in the 16 and a half years we've been doing the show, the very first show we did with the Sandhills Classical Christian School was 10 years ago.
Was it really?
Yeah. And you know that expression, the squeaky wheel gets the grease?
Yes.
So we've had many different schools on, but I don't know that we've ever had more informative shows about the Sandhills Classical Christian School and what they do, who they are. Mm-hmm. I remember them when they were downtown Southern Pines.
Yeah, me too.
Not now when they're at their beautiful campus on Rays Bridge Road. And Gene Lichty, who has been a great point person for us to come on and was able to put this show together, I've wanted so much to bring some of the students in, along with some of the teachers, to have a conversation because of all the students I've met at this school, I'm always impressed with their eye contact.
Uh-huh.
I'm always impressed with their manners, their ability to communicate, and because as adults we make judgments when we meet students. You know, we can pretty much tell, is that student on the balls of their feet? Are they proactive, or are they, stand back, shrug my shoulders, and I want to hide out, like I did in school. But I think you're going to see with our 4 student guests today, that's not the case. And before I introduce the teachers, I want to go around the table and introduce from left to right Braxton Cooper. You are a junior at Sandhills.
Yep.
How long have you been at the school?
This will be my 3rd year.
Okay. Next to you is Thomas Taylor. You're a senior.
Yes, sir.
And I'm just curious, how many students in your class?
In my class.
In your graduating class?
In the graduating class, this will be the biggest one that the school's had so far.
Okay.
I'll have 18 students.
18 students. So it's against the law to hide out, isn't it? You can't.
Yes, sir. Very much so.
And so you're going through the college process of looking at schools and planning your next 4 or 5 years?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to talk about that today. Next to you is Ayla Roberto.
Yes.
Did I pronounce that correctly?
It's Ayla.
Ayla.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
No problem.
And you're a junior.
Senior.
Great. I'm 2 for 2. Now, you can kick me out. So you're a senior, and you're also in the process of interviewing, looking at schools. How long have you been at the school?
I've been at the school for 7 years.
How many? And the same 18 people. So you guys know each other very well because
Yes.
you've gone through all these classes together, right?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's so there's a bond.
Certainly.
For sure. And my guess is there's a lot of sharing and encouraging and supporting one another along the way.
Of course.
Definitely.
You say that, of course, like that's commonplace. It isn't always. Sometimes in some schools you're out for yourself. And I want to go around the table to Elena. You're a junior.
Yes, sir.
And how many years?
This is my 11th year.
Wow. And how many in your class, in the your junior class?
I believe it's 25.
So 18 senior, 25 junior. But as you go down, the class sizes are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, which means every class going forward is going to just be growing exponentially, huh? Well, we're going to be speaking with you today about your experiences at the school, some of the lessons you've learned, some of the things you're going to be taking away, and in particular with the college interviews on the horizon, it's sort of like a report card, isn't it, of how prepared you are to speak and share, and you get a lot of that eyeball to eyeball conversation going on. There are two professors here, teachers here. Dr. Oliver Spivey is sitting to my left. You're an English language and arts teacher. You're from Laurinburg or Lumberton?
Laurinburg originally.
Laurinburg.
Right. Yeah. I went to high school, Scotland High School.
Did you really?
Uh-huh. I did. Yep, back in the day, right.
Yeah, back in the day, right?
Yeah.
There is a piece about you in this issue, the January issue of Pine Straw Magazine, and it talked about your roots and how did you go from Scotland High School? How did you evolve to a point where you're here now teaching in a classical Christian school setting?
It's a long story, and it'd probably take up all the time we have, but I'll try to give you the very short, concise response.
We call that the Cliff Notes version?
The Cliff Notes version.
You guys know what Cliff Notes are?
Well, I don't. Do they still have? Yeah, they may on the line.
I grew up with Cliff Notes.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and I did too. But I always tell them, we don't go the Cliff Notes route. We try not to. But for our purposes, I will. So, I grew up in Laurinburg. I always liked books. My father's a sociologist. I was around books most of my life and going to university libraries and that kind of thing. And all of that was exciting for me. And so books have been a mainstay in my life. But it was, I think when I went to Sandhills Community College that I really realized I wanted to be an English professor, and I had a couple professors there who I think completely changed my trajectory. Because I didn't initially, I wasn't certain that's what I was going to do, but they kind of sealed the deal for me, so to speak.
You had some good role models.
Good role models,
teachers.
yeah. A gentleman, Stephen Smith, who was a really brilliant. He's a poet, and he exuded a persona and just a way of approaching literature that I found just so appealing. And then also a gentleman named Ron Lane, who taught film studies for a while, and I had him for literature and film. And both of those guys, I think, really helped. I don't know that they know that, but they really put me on the right track, to where I wanted to go. And so I was out of school for a while after I was at Sandhills, did a lot of things. Eventually went back to school, UNC Pembroke, got my undergraduate degree in English, and went on from there to Raleigh, where I went to NC State. I got the master's degree in English there, and I wasn't really sure yet precisely what I wanted to do. I was still wondering if I should just take the master's degree and then run with that, or if I should go on to the PhD. And I took a couple more years to think about it. I finally decided on getting a PhD, and I applied to upward of 20 schools. And the one school that gave me the full ride was Oklahoma State University out in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Sure.
The last place on earth I thought I would end up, but I ended up there. And my wife even looked at me like, "What's in Oklahoma?" And we weren't really sure, but we were really pleased with that experience. I think on the whole, it was really good. And while I was teaching there as a graduate teaching assistant, I began to notice certain students who really excelled at speaking, at writing, at reading literary texts. And almost invariably, I would ask them, where did you go to high school? And they would say, well, I went to such and such classical Christian academy.
Right.
And I was intrigued by this. I wasn't even aware of the classical Christian movement at the time.
Right.
And that really drew me in. And what also drew me in is that the deeper I got into academia, I think the more disillusioned I had become with the contemporary approach to literary study. And I think that had really turned me off in many ways.
You're sort of answering a question I was going to ask you.
Sure.
Is how does the teaching experience, the mentoring experience at Sandhills Classical Christian differ than what your experience was in a public school setting?
Yeah, I mean, it's vastly different. I mean, as a teenager at a place like Scotland High School, and this is, I'm certainly not denigrating Scotland High School. There are great teachers there, but my experience was I had some good teachers, but the material wasn't always so compelling. We didn't read Aristotle and Plato. We did read some Shakespeare, but I don't know how in depth we got. I had a couple English teachers there who I think did push us to go a little beyond. I had a really great AP class, but it was different. It tended to be, the desks all facing forward, facing the teacher. It wasn't a circle or a horseshoe, so we could have a Socratic dialogue. This is something that we really stress at our school, and so conversation sometimes felt a bit stifled, and maybe the teaching was geared more to the text at the public school level. And now at the academic level, at the higher level, there were some major issues there. I think the approach to literary study had really become heavily political, which was, not to my taste really. And I felt that there were better ways to understand literary texts, beyond just its political context. And so I had a little bit of an uphill battle, even though I had really good mentors in graduate school. But I think this was the right choice. Coming to a place like Sandhills Classical allowed me to do what I think, in some sense, I was born to do. I mean, this is just what felt natural. And there's just something natural about sitting in a circle with a group of students and trying to draw out of them good conversation, right, about a text.
You're very fortunate to know what you wanted to do and then to go ahead and realize.
Yeah. Oh, I see it as a blessing, a true blessing.
So the way he speaks, that's the definition of compelling, right? Like I've bought in to, he's very, very credible to me, and probably as he is to you. I mean, you either are or you're not, and his commitment is so self-evident, right?
Again, back to the word natural. You feel
He's
it.
Blushing now.
Well, it's I think it's there in us, and before I went to a classical Christian school, I wasn't really sure what I would do. Even in college, it just seemed kind of alien to me, even while I was in the thick of it, if that makes sense, because it's rather paradoxical. But getting out of all of that and coming here again has been an amazing blessing, and I think it's allowed me to flourish naturally. These are like certain talents that I have, and it's allowed me to exercise them daily. So,
I want to talk to you. You and I are going to talk the rest of the first segment. You've been in education for how long?
43 years.
Wow. Talk about seeing the whole playing field and having a perspective. And you were more recently at John Paul?
That's right, John Paul in Southern Pines.
How long were you there?
6 years.
And tell me about the transition that you made and why.
Well, I actually started out in classical education, classical Christian liberal arts and sciences, great books program in undergrad, taught via Socratic method. And I taught at the undergraduate level, I've taught at the high school level, I've taught at the middle school level, and been in classical Christian schools up in New Hampshire, up in the Northeast. And
is that where you're from?
Actually, I grew up in metropolitan New York area, but my wife and I raised our family up in New Hampshire, and we went to a great book school, a small liberal arts great book school up there together.
Okay.
So it's that's what got me excited about books and about learning and about philosophy and the liberal arts and so forth. And so went to a number of schools, taught at a number of schools, and when I came to North Carolina in 2009, started in the Diocese of Raleigh as an administrator. So went from teaching to administration. I was a headmaster in New Hampshire for several years as well. But in the kind of getting out of the classical approach, a more conventional type of academic program, and really felt like as I moved on in years that I wanted to get back to the more classical approach to education. In the Diocese of Raleigh, in Catholic education was a wonderful experience as an administrator. But I think I'm truly a teacher at heart,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's wonderful to have found Sandhills Classical.
How did the students benefit from the approach you were just espousing, again, compared to a public school?
Well, you asked the question earlier about mentorship.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about a small classical faith-based school is that I really get to know my students, and they really get to know me. I have a relationship with them. So we come together every day to talk about the great ideas and talk about wonderful literature and to spend time writing a thesis together. And so, the whole purpose of the Great Books program was sort of this great conversation that's been a part of Western civilization for so long. And it's really just a privilege to sit with these young people and to read masters of orderly thought and to engage in Socratic seminar with them. And I think it's the best way to educate. And I'm just Oliver and I talk to each other every once in a while about our opportunity there.
Yeah.
And pinch ourselves and say, do we really have this privilege? Do we really have this opportunity? Are we really doing what we aspire to do? And I think we are. So it's been a wonderful experience.
Yeah, equally compelling, by the way you speak and what you just said. We're going to come back in the second set, and we're going to have a conversation a little bit with you guys. You've gotten to listen to both of them, and we want to know about your experiences at the school, and you've already told us how long you've been there, and I think you probably have a great perspective to share. Our topic all day today is the Sandhills Classical Christian School, the type of leaders and the type of individuals that they are educating and getting ready for the world. This is All Things Moore County. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our second set of All Things Moore County. We're speaking all about the Sandhills Classical Christian School, and we have the privilege, of which Jean was very gracious to put together, of bringing in some of the students who could offer a perspective. I enjoyed listening to both teachers at first set. How about you guys?
I definitely did.
Yeah. Have you all had both of them in class?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
We haven't, the seniors have not had Mr. Donohue, but we've had Dr. Spivey for 2 years now.
Okay. He was very compelling when he spoke. So a teacher, they can provide an indelible impression that you can take with you the rest of your life. I remember my 5th, 6th, and 7th grade teachers. 2 of them very fondly. One of them not so much, right? It's amazing, and you remember them as if you're still that age. So teachers have a great effect as a role model. I want to start talking, Thomas and Ayla, you're both seniors.
Yes, sir.
You're looking at the spring, and you're going to be graduating
Yes.
and moving on to college, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What do you tell your friends about the school? Why has it been so valuable for you? What are some of the things that you think you'll take with you in looking back? How many years, Thomas, have you been there?
This will be my 8th year here.
Okay, so that's a lot of formative years. Tell me a little bit about your experience. Are you grateful? Are you? Will you take nothing but good memories with you?
Very grateful. I think the only bad memories, if you could even call it that, is just the long hours. But that comes with the level of education that I'm receiving here.
So when you say the level of hours, it's challenging, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You cannot hide out. right, and you get to you have to express yourself. There's an expression, some people, teachers teach to the test, but that's not what happens at the school, is it?
No, sir.
What happens?
Well, I think the most influential part about the school for me has been the culmination of the different aspects, from everything from English, philosophy,
Yeah.
rhetoric, grammar. It all comes together, and we learn about the whole picture instead of necessarily just one little aspect of it.
Yeah. You're also encouraged to not to memorize, but to discuss and to be challenged, and that gives you a lot of self-esteem and independence, doesn't it? When you have an argument to make or a case to discuss.
Certainly, especially with our thesis that we've had, both junior thesis and our thesis this year. But I've also found it very helpful in the college process with the different interviews I've had to have and things like that.
Yeah. You have more maturity. You to me, you're like a college graduate already. Oh my gosh! If you knew me when I was how old are you?
I am 18.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I just learned the word culmination about 10 years ago. So, pronounce your first name for me.
Yes, it's Ayla.
Ayla. You were nodding your head when Thomas was speaking, like you were, and you guys know each other very well.
Yes.
Yes.
What do you take away from the school, and what are you most grateful for?
I'm most grateful for, as you said, we know each other very well, and so the very close connections that you can build with your peers, close connections that you build with your teachers, it all really makes me more interested in my education. Instead of just going about the motions, I'm genuinely interested in what I'm learning. It's developing me as a person as opposed to just me in my education.
In looking at schools, do you have a perfect world scenario that you're looking at of either a field of study or a major of a specific subject?
I am hoping to go into interior design.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm not sure how far I'll go in that field or if I'm going to remain in that field, but I really like the aspect that it brings both like the analytical, mathematical side with the artistic side, and I've gotten a lot of that love for those things in SCCS, and so, yeah.
What's the most challenging thing about your education that you've overcome, that you've gotten to the other side of?
I'd say probably, sorry.
No, that's
I'm
okay.
trying to think about it.
Maybe what were some of the things that you found that you'll remember that were maybe difficult to get through, but you did? How's that?
Yes. I've always had a pretty easy time grasping subjects.
I'm not surprised.
But this year, actually, in physics, I had a hard time grasping it. And as I was saying before, I'm genuinely curious now due to my education. And I think a lot of that came from physics this year also, because I had to kind of force myself to be curious about the subject in order to understand it. It was different than any other sciences that we'd ever really taken. And so I'd say that's the hardest thing I've had to overcome is some theoretical concepts that we've had to go through or just things that we can't exactly visualize on paper.
Okay. The last question, and for the both of you, because I want to speak Braxton with you and Elena. What does critical thinking mean to you?
To me, critical thinking means not just taking the face value of things.
Okay.
Really diving deep into the meaning of whatever it might be,
Yeah.
but also the different perspectives on that and finding out what the truth of the matter is. So whether it be thesis or it be mathematics or whatever the range of subjects, you have to dive deep. You have to look at all the different angles of the problem. You have to learn as much as you can about it. And based off of what you learn, you come to an informed conclusion.
So not just being spoon-fed information that you memorize and then regurgitate. Is that?
Yes, sir.
Is that right? Do you agree?
I do agree. And I also would say that relating to what Thomas had just said, we take into account all of the different perspectives. If we're given a point of view, we don't take it on as just a classical Christian student. We try to see truth in all perspectives, and that really helps us to get a better understanding of what we're learning and how to understand the world in a different way.
Yeah. Both of you are, you're both excellent. You speak beautifully. That's the one thing that has always impressed me about the students that I've met. I know a couple that are much younger, but they have the same eyeball-to-eyeball contact and the same courtesies and kindness, and they're well-rounded. And as an adult, I meet students all the time. I make judgments about them. I can't help it. They're either, like I think I referenced before, on the balls of their feet, or they're kind of on their heels, and they're kind of not, they don't have a lot of direction. So adults are moved when they see students with direction. And obviously both of you are great speakers, very smart. Really great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And God, I don't want to put any pressure on you, Braxton, and Elena. I don't want to put any pressure on you, but you've had a chance to listen to John and to Dr. Spivey and to Taylor and to Ayla. Elena, I'll start with you. You've been at the school 11 years.
Yes, sir, I have.
So 11 years puts you. When did you start?
First grade.
So your parents wanted you. So you started in Southern Pines.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I did.
And you have been with your classmates all these years.
Yes, I have.
Right. It's been a great experience for you.
Mm-hmm.
What is the most What is valuable to you at the school? Why are you so comfortable in your own skin there?
It's very similar to what Thomas and Ayla said. So I love the relations that I have with my classmates and with my teachers. My class started out with 9 people in it, so it was very intimate. And
yes.
Yes, and so growing up, it's gotten a little bit bigger, and I've had a great chance to grow in my knowledge with my friends and teachers, and just being able to communicate with them, not being scared of what I'm going to say next, or all that stuff.
Yeah, it gives you a quiet confidence, huh?
Yes.
Are you? Do you have tests? I know they don't teach to the test so much, but what you're really trying to do is to learn something, not to memorize it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel very comfortable in that situation where you have an open mind and you're just taking it all in and considering all aspects of the information that's being put in front of you?
Yes, sir. I think I'm getting a great understanding of it. The teachers are diving into every different aspect of it. Like, we never have a part of an equation or something in math maybe where we don't understand it. Because if we don't understand it, we can automatically ask the teacher, and they'll be like, sure, we'll go into that into depth, so then you truly understand it, instead of just skipping over it. And in literature, we can talk through it for an hour, and we don't even realize the entire class has gone by, because we just keep going, we keep enjoying what we're talking about.
It sounds like you're also not afraid to express yourself in front of your other students, where they'll support you if you don't get something, right? And you're not shying away,
Mm-hmm.
trying to hide out, so to speak. You want to learn, and you're not afraid to maybe say that I don't quite understand where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What you're a year away from possibly looking at schools. Do you have any direction as to what you would want to do, or what your points of interest?
I do actually. I'm really interested in veterinary medicine.
Wow.
Specifically emergency, if that's a possibility. So looking at like another 8 years of college.
Wow.
Yeah.
The relationships you formed. I made a comment before that teachers leave indelible impressions. Do you think you'll remember some of your teachers 20, 30 years from now?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because
of the impression they've made on me. I still remember my first grade teacher. She was fantastic, and all of my other ones I can name
right
by name. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be talking to your kids about them someday. Braxton, I wanted to get to you. You've been at the school how many years?
This is my third year.
Okay, so what happened? So only 3 years.
Yeah, so my family's military, and so there was moving around a lot naturally, but I also wasn't in any sort of private school until high school. So much like Dr. Spivey, I had been in public school and seen that system, and eventually it just wasn't working. And so I ended up...
Why?
Well, there was, of course, you're being taught at, and there's the memorization, and it was like, well, take down these notes and just spit them out on a test, and that bored me to tears, if I'm going to be completely honest. And it just didn't work. There was, it was one size fits all, and I just couldn't cooperate with that.
That speaks very highly of you, because I know a lot of students who would have that experience and say, this is great, I can just fly through here and fly under the radar and not have to sweat it out. That's great. So was this your first private, your first classical Christian school experience?
Yes, it was.
Okay. So you guys have known each other for 3 years. You've been in the same class, and it's not a big class, so that you get to know each other very well. The impressions, I was speaking to Elena about indelible impressions. Have you been moved by some of the teachers, and if so, why?
Oh, absolutely. Like, Dr. Spivey changed the trajectory of my education completely. I was not interested in literature or philosophy in the slightest when I went to public school, because we were taught these, it was either all just grammar that they basically told us, it doesn't really matter, or when we did read books, they were not great books, and they weren't very in-depth, and then and there wasn't that discussion either. It was kind of just like, read this, and then you'll fill something out on it later. And so I came to this school, and all of a sudden, now I'm facing my peers in this horseshoe-shaped class, and we're reading these books not just to, go write this down on a piece of paper later. We're reading them, and we're discussing them, and we're getting into these great ideas that it just like opened up an entire new world for me. So I just fell in love with that.
These 4 students are your report card, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
the way to put
goodness. I am blown away. I'm very impressed with all 4 of you. I mean, a parent just has to see and listen to the way you all speak. You speak beautifully. Tell me about your plans after high school.
Yeah, so I'm looking into either going into philosophy and then going into academia and being a professor or a teacher, or else I would go down the theology route and enter the priesthood.
I'm not used to, how old are you?
16.
So I'm not used to 16-year-olds having so much conviction.
Oh, we have a lot of them.
I'm just not. I'm used to, I want to hang out, I want to shoot hoops, I want to go to a movie. I don't know what I'm going to do, but that's not how you guys occur.
This is why we enjoy being in class with them.
This is, how you occur is just the opposite of that, all 4 of you. We're going to come back in the third set. Want to have maybe a little interaction. Want to talk about the special scholarship program as well. And I know we're taking more time than we should each set, but it's definitely worth it. So hang around with us for the last set, okay? This is All Things Moore County. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our third set with some very well spoken students and at Sandhills Classical Christian School. I have to mention to both of you that they are your report card. I could not have been more impressed.
Yeah, every day we're impressed. It's and again, it's a blessing to be with them. So,
the culmination of as juniors, and especially as the two seniors, you work with them closely with their thesis.
yes, yeah, the thesis is, as we were saying, the culmination of a classical Christian education. I mean, one way to look at it is that it takes the trivium. It takes, our grammar, logic, and rhetoric phases and stages of the school, and then it all kind of comes together, right? Facts are synthesized and arguments are put forward, and those arguments have to be supported with evidence, and they have to get up in front of an audience of peers and parents and other students, and they have to speak out into the world, right? What the truth is, and they've come to these conclusions, and they're trying to persuade others of it, and it's an amazing thing to watch. I've often said to them, if I had to do this in 12th grade at public school, I would have run out the back door. There's no possible way. I think I would have just had a complete breakdown. But these students are rise to the occasion all the time.
Yeah.
So it's
So a lot of parents are always asking, and the question for both of you, college readiness. When you're in a classical Christian environment, is there any difference between their ability to be college ready than any other type of school, be it private or public? I mean, in just speaking to them, if I had a college, I would admit all four of them.
Well,
Immediately, I'd give them scholarships.
Dr. Spivey and I have both taught at the undergraduate level. I taught at undergraduate for 22 years. So
where'd you teach?
I taught at Magdalen College and Christendom College in Virginia and New Hampshire. And I did the senior thesis last year. I took over for the teacher that was there and prepared them for their presentation and their paper. And this year I have the opportunity to do that with the juniors. I think in both instances, the junior thesis is preparation for the senior thesis, but I think in both instances, really the expectation is that these students are capable of writing a college-level paper.
Right.
For the juniors, it might be a 12 to 15-page paper. For seniors, it's going to be up to 18 pages. They choose a topic of their choice, of course approved by the faculty member, but this is something they're interested in.
They pick their own topic.
It's something they're interested in. So it's pretty wide-ranging, but they go and they do the research and develop their annotated bibliography, research, and they do it in a classical form. So they're going to present their thesis on the subject matter, but they will also present the opposing view. So they're expected to make the opposing argument as strong as they can. They're not building a straw man, but they're actually looking at both sides of that and writing about hopefully something that they truly love, they're truly interested in, and they're passionate about. So it really is the culmination of their education. And just thinking back to some of the comments about your younger teachers, I know that I'm very grateful, I know Dr. Spivey is too, of the preparation that you've had to be at this point, to be able to do this. So it's quite a testimony to the full range of the academic program.
Start with the seniors again. You picked your own topic?
Yes.
What did you pick?
This year I picked the topic of communication in our modern world, and with mediated communication as far as Snapchat goes, as far as social media, and kind of how it's degrading the next generation's idea of authentic communication, and that really convicted me to write about it.
Well, let's talk about that for just a second.
Sure.
I've been around a couple of decades. I've never seen a world like we live in today, where there's so much information and overstimulation, and no matter where you go, screens, phones, apps. What's your relationship to the social media madness that's going on, and the overflow of information? Some accurate, some not, and some who knows.
Yeah, I really see it as it's taking away from as I said, authenticity, with the way you can't see the person on the other side of the phone, as it usually is. And one thing that I talked about as it related to our classical Christian education is that we don't generally we don't have laptops or anything that we're learning off of. But as Mr. Donohue and Dr. Spivey said earlier, we are engaged in Socratic dialogue. And so, as Braxton said, in a horseshoe shape or circle, and we see each other face to face. We're not just typing up forum responses or something like that. We are seeing each other's tonality and our expression in a way that you don't see through a phone. And I thought that was a very important thing in our humanity. So that's what I was thinking of.
I have to go back to school. I'm Taylor. I mean, just ridiculously impressive what you just said.
Thank you.
Sometimes there's not a tone and tenor in social media communication, right? There's no, you're not putting yourself on the line. You're kind of hiding out, right? But do you have the temptation on the weekend? You go home, you want to check, see what your friends are doing. You know, was there a party here? Is there something going on? Is there any gossip you want to pick up?
I think the key is moderation.
Jeez.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow, I'm so impressed. Okay. The key is moderation, right? And you're 100% right. And you all have siblings, or I think 3 of the 4 of you have siblings who are at the school as well?
Yes.
And do they take after you and some of your behaviors and your discipline about social media? Because it's a crazy world. Elena?
Yeah, so something that my parents said, we're not allowed to have social media, we're like out of the house. But that's been a great way to make sure that we are working with our friends rather than on our phones. We're communicating by mouth rather than texting.
Right.
And so, yeah, my brother, he's an 8th grader, so he's working into the rhetoric school. He hasn't quite gotten there yet. He's definitely, I'd say, more mature than the typical 8th grader.
Yeah.
And he has a nice quality. He doesn't talk back most of the time, so I can usually ask him to do something, and he'll be right away to do it.
Yeah.
He's very respectful. So.
Yeah. Braxton, do you have a point of view?
Yeah, so I just avoid social media. I don't have it. I gave up YouTube, gave up Google. I would be allowed to have it if I wanted to, but I just don't. But my brother does. He's much more tech savvy than I am, and I think...
How old is your brother?
He's a sophomore, so 15.
Okay. You don't feel like you're missing something?
No, not at all. I mean, there's the occasional, like, I'll watch some videos on the TV for, like, YouTube for, I don't know, some lectures or podcasts and stuff, but other than that, I just try to avoid it. I don't.
Right. Well, wait till the world gets a hold of the 4 of you. Honestly.
Wait till they get a hold of the world.
Right. Yeah, I mean, all of you in your own way are like old souls. Do you know that expression? Yeah, it's true. Taylor, I hadn't spoken to you about it, but you also you have the same attitude and feelings and conviction that Braxton does?
Certainly. I have social media, but I think the key is, like I said before, moderation.
Yeah.
Using it, in some ways, it's helpful to stay connected with people I've been to summer camp with and things, but not using it so much as to the point where it's taking away from more authentic connections.
Yeah. We, in the past, we've had the privilege of having some of the other teachers on. We've had some of the parents on. Jean has been a very valuable a guest in terms of informing us about what Sandhills Classical Christian does. But the four of you make the most compelling case of all the guests that we've had in 10 years, without question. So people who want to, I guess, you have a very intuitive website where people can go and look at the programs, the philosophies, the special scholarships that are available. The costs involved sometimes will exclude certain people, but this program, this opportunity scholarship that's coming up, I think it's, Jean can remind me, March or the entry time, whatever it is.
Yeah.
All of that's there?
February, I believe.
Okay.
And that opportunity scholarship will be for the fall of 2026. And I think you can go to the website and you should be able to find all the information you need on it. It is a way for us to, I think, get this education shared with those who maybe struggled to have that access when financially. But I would also just say that of course we welcome those people to do that, and I think part of it though is that I know Mr. Donohue and I often talk about that we really like to challenge students to pose it as a challenge, and to parents. If you want to be challenged, right, and in the very best way, then this is a chance, because it's not going to be, again, teaching to the test or that kind of thing. It's going to be rigorous reading, dialogue. It's constant, and it does require focus, and so therefore you can't get sidetracked with social media and all the rest. And so if you're up for the challenge, I think that's what I would say. Then we're here.
The campus is beautiful. You guys, with the new school, you must feel like, hey, I earned this. I've been here. Now I get to take advantage of everything that the school has to offer, huh?
We're certainly blessed to have it.
I mean, it looks like a small college campus,
Mm-hmm.
right? It does. As you go out to schools, you'll see. I want to thank you all for coming. John, it was a pleasure.
You're welcome.
And Oliver, it was a pleasure listening to both of you. Braxton, I want to thank you, Braxton Cooper, Thomas Taylor, Ayla Roberto. I pronounced it correctly?
Almost.
Oh, God. You should just fire me. And Elena Goodberry. You guys were great spokespeople. Wish you all the very best, but I don't think you need a lot of luck. I think you guys are equipped to handle whatever the world is going to throw in front of you. Enjoy the rest of your year at Sandhills Classical Christian, all of you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
It was a
It's
pleasure. Thank you, guys. This is All Things Moore County. Have a great week.